Chapter 6 was insane. Welcome back to my channel, guys. Gosh, chapter 6 was pretty dark, to be honest. I am definitely not sure what all it entails anymore, to be honest. But yeah, it's definitely a dark chapter. We get a new character introduced in the chapter that's also a player in the game. We get a little bit of rules, but also not so much. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I'm a little confused of what the rules are. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm just gonna say it's up in the air for now, of what it might be. But let's just before jumping in, make sure you do subscribe to my channel. Give some love by commenting, liking, and sharing. You guys can follow me on social media and other places by checking the description below. You guys can also support the channel by commenting and liking the video. Watch my other 5 chapter reviews on this series, which is good series. I mean, I can't stop saying how good it is. It is based on a game, and I do want to give a warning, which I didn't give a warning in other chapters because they weren't as dark, but this one is pretty dark. So there is a parental advisory, explicit content. This chapter definitely shows why there's explicit content. So there's 2 stories going on. So let's talk about the good side, and then we'll talk about the bad side. The good side, we have Snow White, essentially, or Snow, we'll just call her Snow, referencing to Snow White. And she's talking to Pinocchio, who is essentially the one that was watching over Alice, and essentially reassuring that Alice now completely has changed, and they're making sure that she changed for the good. Now, what does this mean? What this means is that, in previous chapters, Alice almost committed suicide, almost killed herself, but now she has a reason to fight, and that is to eventually see her family live. Now, Snow is very much um, sure that she doesn't have to fight. In fact, she's like, just be part of my minions, essentially, and let me reconstruct a peaceful world once I win. Which, again, we don't know all the full rules, but they realize and they kind of have a look. So that's why I'm saying maybe they're not giving her all the answers of what the rules are. But Snow and Pinocchio share a glance, and they're like, she doesn't know the rules. So then she says, when I was told the rules, I was told that I have to go kill Red Riding Hood. Now, is that the, which, by the way, grotesque scene, is that the solution for all of them? I don't know. Maybe I kind of feel like that's Snow's mission, not everyone else's. So basically they need to murder Red Riding Hood, which is the person that killed Alice's family. Now we get a big scene with Red Riding Hood, and we'll get to it in just a second. But whenever that scene ends, eventually they go back to the Snow and Alice, basically them conversating and them trying to figure things out. And we don't get a lot other than Alice feeling a lot better and thanking them for everything that they've done. Snow offers her a place to live with them because obviously she has nowhere else to go. So she needs to just survive at this point. So she's basically now part of the team. And we see that Pinocchio basically is very much loyal to her as well. So that's kind of how the chapter concludes. Now, the middle part, this is the gruesome part. Snow, Red Riding Hood, we see her, basically she is avoiding the cops, she's avoiding medical services and all this because she doesn't want to get caught, right? And we see that she is actually in pain. Now, again, explicit content, so just been warned. her hand is just a mess. There's pus coming out of it, and these dolls that show up to everyone else, they keep mocking her and basically making fun of her pain and just adding more fuel to the fire, right? So she doesn't want to be caught. She's in the shadows, and while she's within the shadows, she is approached by a group of men. Now, this is after her having this like long conversation with the dolls. Um, that essentially she's somehow her power is to steal power, so she wants to find someone who has a healing power so that then she can just heal herself and not have anyone to depend on. But not the case. Case is, after this plan, she's approached by these three thugs. Now, we don't know if these thugs are sent by someone else, like another player, or they're just thugs in general. They kind of make it seem like they're sent by someone, but we don't know much about it. Now, Red Riding Hood, I thought she was a lot more stronger, but it seems like her powers are not working fully. So again, this is where I'm saying there's hints that they were sent by someone else. So because she's not able to use her powers completely, these guys are just three grown men attacking a little girl. And it becomes where it's essentially a unfair fight. You can see how these thugs have that smug smile on their face. And she's defeated. I mean, again, without her powers, she ends up being just a little girl fighting off three guys. Now, you would think it would end there, but no, I'm not going to show you these next ones because even though they don't show a lot, they show enough where it is pretty grotesque. The guys essentially uh, get turned on with her being so vulnerable and beat up and there in the floor, and they decide to SA her. And the only reason they don't is because they hear a siren. They think it's police arriving, which actually ends up being Cinderella, our new character. She has some app that plays the cops, sirens, and she scares them away. She's there to help this vulnerable girl, and Red Riding Hood would with reason doesn't want any help. She doesn't want to go to the hospital, doesn't want to go anywhere. So Cinderella offers her a safe place. One, with more food, and two, a place where a doctor can help her without her having to go into a hospital. So this is the introduction of Cinderella, which I don't know if it's going to be the next victim of Red Riding Hood or if she's going to end up helping Red Riding Hood. For now, it's intensified. Like, gosh. The first chapter of sinoalice was pretty good. We hadn't had a good chapter since then. This one was good. And the reason I say that is, well, two reasons. One, yeah, it's pretty graphic things, but if you come to want to write a story like this, you have to acknowledge how people will be people, and people in the inside, if allowed, will be evil as much as they can. So the fact that these guys were using their powers, or whoever's power they had, to SA her or to beat her up or anything like that, they took advantage. And that is just, I think, to me, more realistic than anything else, than just a bunch of OP characters or OP villains that they're hard to kill and then all of a sudden you kill them, right? So it just shows more realism to how the world will actually be if this really happened, which obviously is not happening, but if it did, that's how it would be. It would be a messed up world where even the villains would be a target to people, for people to do stuff like that to them. So pretty grotesque, pretty cool, to be honest, as a growth to this character, because we're seeing how more hatred she's gaining as a villain. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this. If you haven't done so by now, subscribe to my channel. Like I said, I have 5 other videos on sinoalice, so you guys can watch that on my channel. Thank you for those who have been subscribing and joining my channel recently. Comment yourself here in the comment section so I can introduce myself to you as well. So thank you again, and like always, don't be strangers. See you guys.